new noses that they've got on the cars.
Or it could be some changes. Got them in close scrutiny down from Coolidge tonight. In the car number 76, Ernie Mincy.
He's toward the rear. From Tucson, sponsored by O'Reilly Chevrolet, Townsend's Racing Works, Arizona Machine Tool Supply. The car number 14, a Chevrolet from Tucson, Terry Green.
George Camp hollering on the radio, it'll be B-52 if I can walk. And so B-52 it is. Sponsored by Performance Engine and Machine, Certified Auto Electric, Brassfield Auto Parts, Braswell Carburation, Copper State Towing, Simonson Generator, ABC Radiator, The Young Motorsports, Ron's Racing Products, D&M Manufacturing, Jamie Throckmorton Jr. from Tucson.
Sounds like Jamie's got a lot of friends and family out here.
Oh, yes, Trim Landscaping should now also be added to that list of sponsors for the Throckmorton machine. Thank goodness he doesn't list them all on the side of the car, or it would weigh twice as much.
And the car number 34, a real patriotic automobile out here tonight, sponsored by Brandon Brothers Texaco, Pete's Auto Repair, Roger Hale Farms, Arizona Crank, Bose Distributor. Car number 34 from Tucson, Ron Widwell.
George heads over to that number 73 machine, sponsored by Hancock Towing and Garage in Eloy, Valley Auto Parts of Eloy, the Eloy Pickers, and Snap-on Tools of Tucson. Here's Mike Hancock.
And the car number 98 from Tucson, sponsored by Arizona Machine and Tool Center Incorporated, Townsend Racing Works, American Spectrum Corporation, Robert Townsend.
At machine number 6, sponsored by Southwest Stucco and Sunset Ornamental Iron from Tucson, Ron Lutz.
In the car number 71, sponsored by George's Automatic Transmission, Certified Auto Electric, Dick Pennell's All Exhaust, Cactus Boot and Shoe Repair. The car number 71 from Tucson, Paul Banghar.
That 23T machine, sponsored by San Javier Rock and Material, George's Automatic Transmission, and driven by Tucsonan Jack Moore.
In the car number 24, and it looks like he's sponsored by Town City, let's see, let me throw the binoculars at him because we don't have the information. Twin City Wire Cloth. Car number 24, John Myers.
The This Bud's For You car, sponsored by Budweiser and Golden Eagle Distributors, Performance Engine and Machine, Certified Auto Electric, Brassfield Auto Parts, Braswell Carburation, Pennzoil, Topline Auto Repair, and A&C Radiator, Rick Sipes.
In the car number 94, sponsored by Borderland Construction, Performance Engine and Machine, Quaker State, Pro Construction, Altieri Trailer Sales from Tucson, car number 94, Jack Cocott.
Inside the fourth row in car number 26, sponsored by Wiley E. Coyote Racing Team, Sam's Tavern, Miller Lite, Finlay Distributing Company, A1 Automotive Paint Supply, Competition Fuel Systems, Larry Shaw Racing, Performance Engine and Machine, and Arizona Crank, Jim Brassfield.
In the car number 74, sponsored by Blue Circle West, Performance Engine and Machine, Danny's Racewear, Amarillo Braswell Carburetions, and the spirit of Vicky Lynn. The car number 74 from Tucson, Carl Trimmer.
Inside the third row in car number 61, sponsored by Royal Automotive, Rogers Auto Finishes at Big A, and Quaker State. In his 6th year of racing, he's from Tucson, Rapid Roy Gibson.
In the car number 55, sponsored by Marketing Concepts, Brandon Communications Systems, Brandon Brothers Texaco, Bob's Engine Service, Certified Electric, Jack's Towing from Tucson, car number 55, Bill Brandon.
Inside row 2, car number 17, sponsored by Coors Light, A. Pierce Company, Arizona Spring, Townsend's Racing Works, McLaughlin Body and Paint, Pima Welding Supply, and Pennzoil. From Tucson, Ivan Russel.
On the outside of the first row, sponsored by Southwest Stucco, Sunset Ornamental Iron, Cove Road Lounge, the Bootery on Craycroft, DNR Communications from Tucson, car number 9, Marion Laughing Boy Smiley.
And on the pole, car 19 out of Glendale, sponsored by Tolby Equipment, the Young Motorsports, and Vance Pacing Enterprises, Tracy Tolby at the wheel. We will be adding an alternate to the field now. Machine number 35 coming up to the rear of the pack. While at the head of the pack, we have that Rawlings Chrysler Plymouth pace car. George Camp's got an eye on that. I think he's maybe showing an interest, wants to turn that into a racing machine down the road.
24.
Good to know. It's even better to know late than to never know at all.
That's right.
Thank you for bringing that information along to us.
So Rawlings, Chrysler, and Plymouth is our pace car tonight, as you mentioned, and we'll be going around, 2 or 3 laps, warming up the tires.
And warming up the crowd. This is where we get to do our Raven Wave once again. We'll start it up in another lap or 2 and do 1 or 2 for practice. And then I'd like to see a real kicking one go down here tonight, wouldn't you, Jack?
I sure would. I'm ready for a good race like we had last Saturday night. Ooh, that was a dandy.
But our waves haven't been as good as what they were in the earlier on.
Let's see if we can get one of the better waves going tonight.
Let's do one in slow motion here with them, folks. When the lead cars are directly in front of you in the grandstands, stand up for a half a minute or so and let's get the old wave going. We'll do it on the next come around for these guys. When the lead 2 cars are on a line directly in front of you, stand up. That will produce our wave. Rick Sipes in the 4U car, suddenly retiring off to the pit field.
And he's got the hood off the car now. If he can get back out here, they'll give him his position before the green flag goes out. But if he doesn't, he's going to have to go to the back of the pack. So a little tough luck right now for Rick Sipes. We'll see what happens here in the next few moments.
Well, we know it'll be at least one more.
He's coming back.
Sipes is en route back out. So, folks, let's get ready to do the Raven Wave. See if we can't pull off a glitch-free one here. When the lead cars, Tolby and Smiley, are on a direct line in front of you in the grandstand area, all the way from Smiley Hill on down to the Pitfield grandstands, as Sipe gets his way back into the fray out here. Let's give him the Raven Wave. This might be the last opportunity, and then again, it might be the last practice opportunity we have before giving him the real thing. Let's do a practice wave here. When the lead cars are directly in front of you, stand up. This may be the last chance we get to do it down there at the north end of the stands. Up, 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 right down the stands, but wait on that lead set of cars. And I think they needed to work just a little bit quicker, Jack. We'll catch him this time, but this is going to be it.
One more. We'll give him one more chance.
If he waves the green on him this time, we're going to be off and tearing. .30 lap main event. NASCAR Winston late models. Folks, let's give them the Raven Wave because I think we're going to do it in green. So from the north end of the stands, give them the wave when they're in front of you, like right now, now. And look at that move put on early on by Ivan Russel, right in the center of an awful lot of traffic. When they get into
look out!
One, pretty clean, except for one, into the railing up there on the far side of turn 2. A couple of them going in up there.
That was your front runner, Marion Smiley.
As Tracy Tolby once again finds himself in a pacing position. Rapid Roy Gibson, the other one back there, huh? Gibson and Smiley. So a sad situation for those two. Left on the wall up there, but maybe they can be pried off and popped loose and sent back into the thick of this. Sipes, in fact, got the Bud 4U car back out there. And they were going so well despite their close proximity to one another in that flying stance into both turns 1 and 2. It seemed like they all had made it. Then all of a sudden, Gibson and Smiley hung up back there in the short back chute. Plenty of attention being given those two right now. Both of those will just that quickly be out of the field, Jack, in number 51.
They're going to send him in for an alternate because we did not complete one lap.
Jim Hokankson in number 51 will come into the fray now. He's got a mighty big 2 pair of shoes to fill.
Boy, oh boy, Marion Smiley winning the main event out here last week and having some real tough luck.
So we lose 2 right off the bat. But it's been a good show, and I got a feeling this one's going to be a good one yet before we wrap things up here and our main event, the NASCAR Winston Late Modelers.
Oh my goodness, Tom, I just looked through the binoculars out there and Smiley's front end is really tore up.
It looks like it is pushed back a pretty good ways into the main structure. So they'll have some front end work, to say the least, on that one. Haven't been able to see much in the way of damage on the Gibson machine. But if he's out of it, I'm sure there's some evidence there.
So Steve McGuire in that car number 24, he was driving it for John Myers tonight, heads it into the pits, so we lose another one.
So Gibson's on the hook. Smiley's already exited. And the alternate is in the field in that 51 machine. It will be a complete restart. And Sipes is back at the back of the pack of his own volition. Another indication of true sportsmanship, Jack, because probably indicates maybe all is not fine with that machine, or he's got enough uncertainty that he figures it's safer to check it out back there. And I think, too, there's a blood vein or two in Rick Sipes that likes the kind of challenge that would constitute and go with cutting your way through, slashing up from the back of the pack. And let's face it, from a political standpoint, it is earlier on enough in this one that it might be a good way to go.
Well, let's see what happens as we go into green here in the main event on July 3rd.
Green flies, and so do your NASCAR Winston late modelers. And kicking up a bit of a dust, too, in this late hour out here now. Just another little piece of chemistry to fix into what is the entirety of the racing scene.
Brandon moves out in front. Look at Russell, Tom. He's really starting to make his way up, and now we've got a yellow.
Again. Just when Billy Brandon had moved so well and so strong earlier on this evening, starts to do it again. We've got squirrels at both ends of the track, one between 1 and 2, and the other up here not too far off of turn number 3. Billy Brandon, the double nickel machine up front, Ivan Russell, real close behind him, Carl close enough to certainly be in the middle of it all. Jim Brassfield is the guy in trouble in car number 26 up there on the low berm between 1 and 2. Brassfield would rather be in just about any other position but that one. Can't quite get him moving on his own. That's the alternate, number 51, Jim Hokinson. Gary's Towing arrives on the scene of Brassfield's debacle. Tracy Tolby in that number 19 car, down from Glendale. Billy Brandon of Tucson, Ivan Russell of Tucson, and Carl Trimmer rounding out your top 4. Throw in Jack Kokot, who's running along in 5th place in that 94 machine, just ahead of Ron Lutz in the number 6 car. Number 6 running number 6. Brassfield's on the hook. Our other problem dissolved. Jack Moore and Mike Hancock are currently 7th and 8th. Those front 4 plus Kokot ought to be interesting on the second complete restart. How's the old saying go, Jack? Once begun, half done.
I think that's how they say it, but let's see. Let's see if we can keep it clean this time.
This may put that old belief to an early rest, huh? You see by the flag being whipped around up there what the wind is doing here now. George Camp gives him the finger and the yellow. Says one more, guys. Asking Tolby and Brandon to establish pace, then kind of praying, crossing his fingers that everybody else falls in line. That's exactly what they're trying to do down to and including that number 24 machine. Steve McGuire at the wheel of that one tonight. Ian Sipes bringing up the rear of the pack. George Camp eyes them. He's got green in hand, and that's what we're going to race under right now. Here we go. Brandon, another electric machine, trying to vault into the lead up there in turn one and surpass Tracy Tolby. But not only could he not get the job done, he loses a bunch of ground, scrapes the wall as Russel and Lang go by on the inside of him. And we've got another squirrel up there in turn two, and that will be sold on to Jim Hokinson. So much for our alternate in number 51. He will be prematurely ejected right back into the pit field for that second spin out. So we'll be looking for single file now. See if we can't get these guys run yet, huh? '26 heading to the pit field for a little break in the action. And quite possibly a little bit in the way of a repair. Hopefully a cosmetic repair for Jimmy Brassfield. Slick and quick jobs is what he's looking for right now. We'll see if he gets it as Tracy Tolby from Glendale sets the pace. Bill Brandon, who ran so swell earlier on tonight, hanging tough in this one.
Well, there goes Norman out on the track with the yellow flag. Going to try to slow him up and get him paced out right now. And I think George is telling him what? Single file or move it over or something. Gonna go single file.
They're supposed to be going single file. But it looks like maybe, just maybe, perhaps that message has not been evenly distributed amongst all.
Doesn't look that way.
Either that or they're just not buying it. They can't believe that they haven't got this one rolling yet. Now they've got yellow and stripes on the track with them. Well, so will they go? Or will it snow?
Well, it's not going to rain, and it's not going to snow, so will they go?
I'll tell you, it's amazing that this turned from 108 today into what it has become here tonight, but it is, weather environmentally speaking, it is a superb night out here. Now, Camp's going to get the message to him one way or another. Norman's down in the dirt trying to relay the poop along. George is trying to do it in an animated body language fashion from up above. And 51's still out here, Jack.
Yes, it is.
Number 6 goes behind the 23 T car.
51 still out here. Budweiser 4U car by choice is at the rear of the pack. It's by his choice that he's back there tonight.
And we'll still do at least one more at this slower pace.
So maybe they'll get the word this time, Tom.
My bet is they do, because much more screwing around and they're going to be looking for gas tanks.
Russell getting a little upset with Brandon, it looked like. Uh-oh. Here comes George the man.
When this happens, look out.
So George tries to straighten him out and sort him out. Has the black flag in hand. Why he has it, I don't know. Let's see what he does with the black flag. Two times. So George Camp black flags 51. He hadn't black flagged him yet. He pointed at him.
This is one way of making sure they get the message, Jack. Go right down there with them, hollering through the little rock shields that some of them have got on their windows. Most of them are just wide open, so a little difficult to imagine what does on occasion block the communication. We'd like to get this one flying, and I know you would too. If you haven't gotten enough tonight, this is the place to be tomorrow. Early as 3 o'clock. You can start out over at the fairgrounds proper. Bands, car show, fireworks tomorrow night that you'll be able to observe plenty clearly from right here in the racing facility. The other show will start availing itself to you at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Our gates will still open at 4 o'clock. It will race right up till fireworks time, take a break, smoke them, because we will all have them tomorrow night. And then wrap up our racing with these guys, the NASCAR Winston late models, the NASCAR Chargers, and the Dwarf Racers Association will be a part of the program, along with a humongous fireworks display here tomorrow night. Tolby, Brandon, Russell, Trimmer, Kokot, Moore. Those guys are wanting to go. And they can as soon as these guys get it just a little bit better sorted out. And I think maybe we finally got it done. We will see.
I think we do. If they line up halfway decent, I think Mr. Camp is going to give them the green. Let's see what happens.
Well, looking on the bright side of all that, it means we got a lot of good racing left.
And here they come off the number 4 corner, and he does give him the green, and we're back in the racing again.
Can you believe it? Tracy Tolby takes that lead up in turn 1, and look how close closely. They are bunched behind him, battling it out right now for second place. Trimmer can't find anywhere to run except almost over or under Ivan Russel. Another one awry up there. That would be Terry Green in the number 14 machine, bringing out this yellow.
Well, he's got it back under his own power, so perhaps.
I'm surprised that didn't bring him a standing ovation. It may yet when he gets around here. Terry Green in the all-new number 14 machine. The O'Reilly Chevrolet sponsored Terry Green machine. One more? Why not? It's now a 25 lapper. And the yellows will count. In the interest of getting you folks out of here and getting a decent night's sleep. So, I'll tell you what. Once this one gets going, I got a feeling it's going to be a killer. We'll start counting them on the yellow after the next green. Just so you folks know, as we are posted, we'll keep you posted. It's the least you deserve now, right? Well, they're bunched up, and it's a snail's pace, and they've got green. It ought to be interesting. Here they go.
Uh-oh! Look out!
That one sends Ivan Russel on a wild and woolly spin. Doing a number of 380s out there. Let's hope it's without a bunch of difficulty on that machine for Ivan's sake. Looks like he's got his own juices going in there, and he does. So with the next green, everything will count. They're on in. And with the inability to get this one flying, it's now been reduced to 25 laps. Ivan doesn't seem to have lost too much. And there goes George once again to say, hey guys,
where you going,
now
George?
You really got me fired up.
Uh-oh. Well, I've got to give him credit. He gave it the old college try.
That's one thing about Mr. Campman. He will keep doing it until he is satisfied, because he is the man who, let's face it, he takes an awful lot of heat wearing that striped shirt. So if he's going to take the heat, he's also going to be dishing some of the heat out.
And I don't blame him.
You see he and Norman right now carrying on a conversation and pointing to this guy, that guy, and the other guy. And they're also in radio contact with our various officials around the track and trying diligently and desperately to get this one sorted out. I don't know, maybe a Magnum 357 would be a better way to come around, and you're mad enough at them, zap their tires and drag them the hell out of here.
That will, they'll get the picture then.
Give George a dart gun.
Sometimes I feel sorry for the guys in the flag stand, especially tonight. Here, Norman, his first night here in the flag stand at Raven Raceway, and having all kinds of problems out on the track tonight.
Well, apparently I've had a problem too. I announced so long to Jim Hokinson in that number 51 machine on his second spin, but maybe it wasn't his second spin.
I think what happened, Tom, and we'll have to check with George later, that the red flag came out, not the yellow on that mishap. And that was before he spun, so we'll have to sort that out a little bit later. No, yeah, you gave the right information, except I think we didn't realize the red flag came out.
Well, these are what's left. We sure haven't done much in this one, have we?
Nope, we sure haven't.
Let's see now.
98 is back under his old power again, Robert Townsend. Got a few dents in the right-hand door.
Yeah, a good portion of the right side of that machine has been tucked up and under. Lap 7 coming up in your 25 lapper for these main NASCAR Winston late modelers.
Let's try it again.
Let's do it under the green. That's what they've come to do. And Billy Brandon from position number 2, trying to close it up on Tracy Tolman. And getting a good fight from behind himself out of Carl Trimmer in that 74 machine. Here they come. Brandon flashes up front now and sticks Colby in second place. Colby down Glendale running well tonight. Right now he's going to have to continue to run well, or he's going to find Carl Trimmer shooting by him. Trimmer gives him a good bump back there just to let him know, hey, I'm back here. Now you got someplace to stick that car. I want to race, Bob.
Colcott right on Trimmer's rear there for a while, but he's blocked out by Colby.
Carl's move paid off. He got the attention of Tolman and has now bumped her up to second place, right behind the double nickels of Billy Brandon. Here comes Brandon into lap number 10 with Trimmer hot on his heels and Jack Colcott closing things up very rapidly. In fact, he is now pulled in front of one-time leader Tracy Tolby. So right now at the top, it's Brandon, Trimmer, Colcott, and Tolby. That's how they're running. We're still doing it under the green, dust flying, and July 3rd rapidly evaporating away into a firecracker day and so.
And Billy Brandon was shaking his fist at Trimmer as he came down the front chute.
Trimmer's giving him some early Christmas gooses. There's no question about that. But he's not limiting it to Billy Brandon. You get in my way, you're going to get bumped. You're going to get a good nudging. We've reached midway point. We're lap 12. Brandon tenaciously hanging on. As we said earlier this evening, he's been proving himself, advancing a little bit here and there each week, able to add a little bit more to the repertoire. But here he is in the lead with that 55 red machine and trying to stave off the spirit of Mickey Lynn, Carl Trimmer. Right behind him, and Jack Colcott, who's done some pretty spallacious running in weeks past himself, and not looking too bad right here in lap number 14 coming up. 13 of them are now gone. We're over the halfway point, finally. And Billy Brandon continues his lead on Carl Trimmer and Jack Colcott. Your top 3 machines, Tracy Tolby, rounding out the top 4, and those 4 are in a race by themselves right now. It's lap number 15, and your top 4 are still just that close. You can throw a horse collar around them, but as you might have suspected we would, we've got yellow once again. Terry Green in the O'Reilly number 14 machine is temporarily down. So this will bunch him up even more, Jackson. Looks like Paul Banghar may be running up there fairly well now, too, having come from a back in the pack.
Looks like Ivan Russel headed on into the pits. So perhaps Ivan's out of this one.
Lap 17 about to unfurl for you. That's what the count is right here.
Rick Sipes also made it into the pits during this yellow.
Terry Green coming around, those wheels really hanging out from the basis of that superstructure. And we've got green again. Let's see how many more we got before we do yellow, if in fact it occurs once again. And who knows, maybe it won't. Terry Green bringing up the rear right now. Billy Brandon up at the other end in front of the pack with Carl Trimmer sitting there in that second place and trying to make a move right here on the outside, but he won't be able to accomplish. Jack Hancock is still in third place. Tracy Fome running in fifth place right now behind Paul Banghar. So Banghar has charged that number 71 machine up toward the front of the pack. We're looking at lap number 20. 5 to go. Double 5 continues in the lead, but he's got a bunch of traffic, and they're not far behind him, laying down the multi-hued footsteps of racing tire rubber. Billy Brandon, 55, in the lead by that much on Trimmer and company.
Look at Banghart hanging right in there as Brandon goes wide. Or Cocott went wide, I should say.
Number 94 just a little bit high, and 71 driven by Banghar takes it away from him. And now, speaking of taking it away, Carl Trimmer has snatched the lead away from Billy Brandon. Trimmer now sets the pace as we approach the 11th hour of this one. Lap number 23. Billy Brandon trying to close it up and regain the lead he once had, and also trying to stave off Paul Banghart in that number 71 machine. Brandon looks to be running with a little more difficulty right now than what he was earlier. It seemed easier for him earlier on as the white flag lap is on. Carl Trimmer in the lead. Wouldn't you know it, we got to drop yellow one more time.
This is going to make it really interesting now.
This is going to make it a helter-skelter mad dash.
That was Paul Banghart, 71 spinning out, and Paul was running in third place.
Paul was running real assertively and real aggressively,
He was
too.
right on Trimmer's tail the whole time. Trimmer was in second place.
So we'll dash them off. We'll introduce the winners in victory lane, which is front and center right here in front of the grandstands. Dave will do a little one-on-one with the winners, open up the gates, and then you can get right down on the track or right into the pit fields with these guys tonight and talk with them about what kind of a show they brought you right here. So it's a dash for cash. And points too. So this one's close, I think.
Real close.
What do you think, folks? Are we about to wrap this one up or what? Green and white about to fly, and that's what happens. Carl Trimmer is the first to see it in that 74 machine. Billy Brandon right behind him. The dash is on. And nobody's going to be able to on on Carl. He takes it nice, low and slow, inside 3 and out 4. Flashing 2, yet another victory in a NASCAR Winston late model main event at Raven Raceway. Coming from behind to get the job done on the likes of Billy Brandon in this one. Trimmer wins it. Billy Brandon takes second. And we're still sorting them out from then on down. Tell you what, I wouldn't want to have been one of the officials trying to keep track of that one, Jack.
Well, neither would I.
Too much going on to watch all at once, but we got the kind of guys and gals who get the job done. Dave Maness will go front and center now, ladies and gentlemen, with your main event winners tonight.
Who's the trophy girl?
Jack Gibson, winning the main event tonight is the Roger Wing Junior Treasure. Finally pulled one off down here. Congratulations, Jack. We're trying to figure out what to do with someone anyway. And presenting the trophy to you tonight, this beautiful young lady called Judy Ely. His wife, how do you manage this? Did you say beautiful?
Her last name just changed to Hernandez again.
Okay, so we're going to get before Jack goes up to this. Don't get that here stuff. Put that persona on like it's supposed to be. You're cheating.
Poker, she's going to kick you right now.
Well, I don't trust it.
I like those pockets.
Well, she went over and kissed her. Okay, Jack, thank you much.
Broke the ice, Jack.
Jamie Brockmorton, would you please come up here? Performance not limited. Boy, this thing got numbers all over.
I didn't mean that, Jim.
Not the state color.
I really didn't. That was just
Performance engine.
let's go.
Jamie Brockmorton, the son of Jim Brockmorton, and I'd like to say this one. Last weekend we had a couple cars that came in from Las Cruces that didn't have the stock front noses on them. And I know Jimmy's dad and Herb Wang sent some people back to town to pick up 3 of the noses, and they made the race Saturday night. And I think that's good sportsmanship. Play on behalf of the late model people. So, Jimmy, congratulations on the semi-main event win.
Oh, come on, Rocky.
He might be open already down there in the Victory Circle area and go down there and check out the pit. Want to thank Hal Burns once again for the flowers, all night, fireworks, all the good stuff. Had a lot of fireworks tonight.
Bring a gun.
Here we go. I think we got Carl Serrano coming up here now. Another performance engine motor in this car too. Carl Trimmer, let's hear it from Carl Trimmer. The winner tonight's main event. Congratulations, Carl. How about putting the hat on for a picture? Got the trophy girl Carla here. He'll do the consigned work here, present one of the fireworks trophies from all night. Got the same. Carla Campbell here.
Oh, did it?
Get close to her. Get close to
Candy
her.
Woods, Candy, are you available? I don't think she is. Yes, right up there. Candy, would you please come down? Okay, winner of tonight's main event, Carl Trimmer. This is the 5th one here at Raven Raceway. So he holds the record for both wins in the Blue Circle Special. We want to thank Blue Circle Performance Engine for sponsoring the cars out here. We're going to open the gates here, let you down. We got Candy Woods down here. Where's she at? Where's Candy? She's coming. Oh, here she goes.
There he is.
Okay, Tom, take it away. Wait a minute, Jack. Come here, Katie Woods. Hey, this is Katie Woods. Works in our office. It's her birthday. I've got a very special birthday gift. Come on, Katie. Now, come on. You've been asking for this. There it is. Come on, here. Right there. Come on.
It's all right.
All right, first I want you to open up this card. This is a birthday card from me. Just for me. Not from Ron or time to go away.
Turn that off.
Leave that out.
This sounds special.
Turn that off.
Come on now, rip it open. You guys got to see this. This is good. Happy birthday to you. No. What does it say? What does this birthday card say that I got you?
Thinking of you in your sorrow.
No, it's a sympathy card. Read it out loud. Thinking of you with sympathy, that's very warm and real because I share your sorrow. See, I share your sorrow. And know how you must feel. I can't read my open this gift right here. This is a very special gift. I went a long way to purchase this gift.
I don't want to open this in public.
You can open it in public.
Just in the camera. Just in the camera.
Look in your camera.
You know what it is, though.
Probably a Raven Raceway.
Probably a Raven Raceway hat. No, this